Hello and welcome back. You are listening to All Paws Pet Talk. My name is Annie Greer.
And my name is Brian Patrick Clark.
And we have an extremely special guest in the studio today.
Exceedingly special.
Yes, because I can finally talk to someone who's going to understand what I say and not criticize every pronunciation I have. And that would be the wonderful and beautiful Victoria Stillwell, who does a lot of magnificent dog training. And thank goodness, I've got to say this, Victoria. I warned you I was going to say something. Over here, I'm going to be political right now, but over here, the idea of a dog trainer is that you turn up looking frumpy in a tracksuit with a handful of dog treats. You kind of smell like a dog. Yeah. You look like a dog. And it's down here, there. So I know that you always dress up, and I do when I train dogs. It's like, why are we... So, you've written this incredible book called It's Me or the Dog, and How to Have the Perfect Pet. You're married, right?
I am, yes.
Does your husband call you like my husband calls me, the alpha bitch?
No, actually, you know what? He's never said that.
Oh!
Maybe he might have thought it.
He thinks it, but he doesn't say it. No, I caught mine in an exam room. We have a veterinary clinic, and he says, and here's the alpha bitch now. And I'm like, oh, that's just fabulous.
Now,
Thanks,
you
way to
do
go
realize
for introducing me.
how if I had said that, it would be so inappropriate, and I'd be slapped appropriately so, but you just got away with that.
Well, because we're not tied up with language in England.
Very good.
We
that's
call
good.
it...
I'm glad to
we
see
have
that.
a good sense of humour.
We do.
As do I, but sometimes I'm not sure it's hitting the mark.
Okay, now, one of the really important questions in life, is it PG tips or Thai food for you?
Well, do you know what? I'm not a tea drinker. I don't drink tea at all. My mother drinks PG tips, but I'm probably the only British person that does not drink tea.
Don't drink
Isn't
tea.
that bad?
That is awful.
I know.
How do you do this?
I just, I don't know, but I drink water and that's it.
No beer, no
beer, no wine, no alcohol, nothing. I am a completely cheap date. That's why my husband married me.
Certainly was a good start point, but I'd say there were probably other virtues.
Yes,
so
well, hopefully.
You described as the Mary Poppins for your dog, spit, spot, sit, stay, and all that. How did you get into this, first of all?
Well, I've been training dogs for about 15 years now, and I started off as a dog walker. I wanted to raise money to fund myself through drama school. I'd been through university and I wanted to go to drama school in London. So I started my dog walking business, and the first month I started off with one dog, and at the end of the month I had 20.
Oh.
And I met a lot of trainers and behaviorists through my work and loved the whole aspect of training dogs and being with dogs and the whole life. So I did some acting for a while and then did both actually simultaneously. Acted, I had a theatre job. I was in the West End with a great show where I met my husband, and called Buddy, the Buddy Holly Story. So I would train during the day and work at night. But then I became a trainer full time.
That becomes especially interesting to me because, as Annie knows, that's what I actually do. And
He's an actor.
I'm working on a film right now with a countryman of yours named Rupert Friend, who, if you saw the young Victoria, played Prince Albert in the young Victoria.
Yes, he's
so
great.
Wonderful.
He's rather nice too.
Wonderful actor, and he's a very handsome young guy.
So you see, you two share
Yes, there's a
something in common.
commonality.
I
didn't realize about the
Well, yeah, my
theatrical
husband's
background.
right there, and he played the Buddy Holly. He
played Buddy Holly?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
He's a great
please.
singer, actor, and musician.
Well, he must be,
so-
because the Buddy Holly production is extraordinary.
Don't
All the
start him,
techniques,
because
don't start me.
He keeps singing, and he's not allowed to sing.
I won't back
Barred
off.
from
That'll
singing.
be the day I back off.
So
Already
tell
hard.
us about the book. Is it for beginners who just first pet, or?
I think actually it's a sort of, it's not for trainers, but it is for anybody who has a dog, and it basically takes you through the process of how to think dog, how to understand dogs, and how to work with dogs, and how to basically allow your pet to succeed in your home. There's so many problem behaviors happen because dogs just are confused as what to do in our domestic environment. So this book helps a dog owner allow their dog to be successful.
What do you notice is one of the biggest differences between dog owners in the UK and dog owners in America?
I think dog owners in the UK have a lot more freedom because most parks they can let their dogs off, whereas here in the United States there's a lot of laws. There's quite tough leash laws. But also, Britain seems to be much more forward-thinking when it comes to training techniques. And of course, I'm a positive reinforcement trainer. I don't believe in the old dominance techniques. They're highly flawed, and they really damage the relationship between dog and owner, as well as being potentially dangerous. So coming over here and trying to give that message out is challenging, but it's working, and it's beautiful to see it working.
Well, if nothing else, if I might comment on your physical appearance, you're just, as we say in England, a tiny slip of a thing. And yet you're handling these very large dogs. It's not a matter of brawn over brains or anything like that, where you're the brains, and just works perfectly. Do you think as well, I mean, in England, I don't know how it is now, but it used to be everybody would take their dog down the pub and they'd sit and play dominoes or whatever they do, and all these dogs would be under these tables perfectly behaved because they had an opportunity to be social.
Absolutely, the socialization
so it's kind of the
important.
chicken and the egg over here. Is, although it's a lot better, we're allowed to take them to restaurants, but people still don't treat the dog as a dog. So is that something else that you've noticed? I mean, in England, we take the dog for long, long walks.
Yeah, I think the whole social scene in England is different because, yes, in England, we go to the local pub at night and everybody knows everybody, and we go hang out and we bring our animals with us, where there really isn't that sort of social scene here. There are wine bars and there are restaurants, but yes, you can't take dogs to that. And there's not so much of a tradition of every night you go to the same pub to hang out with your friends.
No, there isn't.
And that's something I have to say that I do miss. Living here, I love America in so many ways, but I do miss that social aspect of being in Britain.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Every Brit that is over here, that's what we miss the most. So let me ask you, so you've obviously got dogs, right?
Yes.
How many do you have?
2. I have a chocolate lab, and I've just adopted a 6-month-old Chihuahua Min Pin mix.
So how hard is it to not come home with 20 more?
Very hard, because I do a lot of work with rescues every day, and every day I could come home with a dog every day, and my husband would kill me.
Yeah, that's what mine does. That's why we bought 40 acres, and then I can hide a lot, and he never actually sees them.
And how many dogs do you have?
She says, stuttering, 5. 5, but we have rescue horses and donkeys and...
We have one. It's a 6.5-pound toy fox terrier. Very easy for me to account for that.
But Cherokee, that's a difficult breed. Now, is that something else that you really stress? For me as a dog trainer, ideal scene is the owner comes and says, I'm thinking of getting a dog. What do you think would suit me best? Whereas we tend to see them after they've made a choice.
Yeah.
So do you really think there are certain breeds of dog that are better suited to certain ways of life, like apartment life, or we have a farm, so it doesn't really matter for us?
Yeah, it really, most dogs would love to be out in the fields running and having fun. You don't get a border collie if you live in an urban environment in the city and you never like to go out walking because that dog will go crazy, and that's the mistake a lot of people make.
I'm still smiling about the comment you made about the positive reinforcement. It's so ironic. My wife was recently asking me about a director I had worked for not long ago. And she said, well, what was it you weren't that happy with? I said, sweetheart, I swear to God, I didn't hear one positive moment of affirmation the entire time. I was never criticized. He would move on. We'd print. I have to assume the work was good because he would have said if it wasn't. But for God's sakes, can you not... You come from that background. I don't know how you felt as an actor, but I believe we're extraordinarily vulnerable. You're putting your emotional being into it. People don't always know which is you and which is the character. But when somebody can't step up and say, nice work, nice work.
I think that validation is so important. It's so important for humans. It's so important for animals. I mean, I'm a mother too. I have a 6-year-old child. And she needs validation. And when I say good job, the smile in her face, it does. It means the world to her. Exactly the same with dogs. And of course, I'm not putting children on the same level as dogs, but dogs love that validation. They love to feel good. And if you can make your dog feel good, then you're going to have a good relationship with your dog.
See, I think I treated my kids like the dogs, but they've turned out okay.
Yes.
They're all okay.
Well, you treated
No,
them
but the
you
same.
treat dogs well.
But
Yes,
but look, the
treat
same
the dog.
behavioural principles apply.
Oh, yeah. What I say goes.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah,
and validation. But don't you find, ironically, though, sometimes people are way overboard with the praise, and I'm talking about children and dogs, but with dogs, let's stick to dogs.
Yeah, you can go too far.
So do you believe in treat training?
I believe in treat. I believe in toy. I believe in praise. I believe in petting. Whatever motivates your dog most. But the reason why I do use food-motivated dogs is, it's a great vehicle for them to learn. It's the gold star, as it were. But also, food can be very, very beneficial for animals that suffer from fear, for example, because food is incompatible with fear. And when you present food to an animal that is within sight of a fear source, that can actually change the way the brain works. So food is more than just a reward. Food can change brain chemistry and allow an animal to feel differently about something that it fears. That's what a lot of people don't know, and that's why it's so powerful.
Now, that also may be a key to the human mechanism, because Kathy waves a treat at me, and honestly, I can go
You
from
do
here
anything? I've
like
heard that.
Yes.
So, where can people buy this book? It's called "It's Me or the Dog: How to Have the Perfect Pet" by Victoria Stillwell.
You can
obviously.
go on Amazon.com. You can go to any bookstore. Yes, it's basically everywhere. Or you
Awesome.
can go on my website, which is positively.com.
Positively?
Positively.com.
Positively.com.
Yeah, which is the online home of positive reinforcement. And I have some great bloggers like Dr. Ian Dunbar and Dr. Nicholas Dodman and Patricia McConnell blogging on my site. These are, obviously the best in the business. And but also, if you're looking for a trainer, we have some great Victoria Stillwell Positively dog trainers around the United States, where all of these trainers have been handpicked by myself. They train under the Positively brand. They're the best of the best. And if you're going to get one of these trainers to come to your house, they're going to use humane methods.
Awesome. Victoria, I know that you're very busy. You've got a lot of people to see here at this Global Pet Expo. I just want to say thank you for joining us on All Paws Pet Talk. And maybe if I could think of a pub, we'd go and have a drink, but there's no pub around here.
There isn't, is
we'll have to
there?
wait till we get back to London.
It's a wine bar in Winter Park, but it's not the
please,
same.
we're not going to. No, a pub's a pub.
I didn't suggest it. I
Yeah,
simply
the wine
remarked
bar
on
is
it.
totally
Victoria, thank you so very much.
Thank you.